In the small town of Summerfield, Louisiana, there was a boy who grew up working on his family's farm, waking up before sunrise, hauling logs, and plowing fields before heading to school. That boy was Karl Malone. Life wasn't easy, but those long days built more than muscle, they built a mindset. A mindset that said, no excuses, just deliver. When Karl got to Louisiana Tech, he wasn't the most hyped recruit, but he worked harder than everyone else. By the time the Utah Jazz drafted him in 1985, he had one goal, to make people remember his name. And that's exactly what he did. On the court, Malone was a 6 feet 9 inches powerhouse, a freight train in human form. His elbows were legendary, his mid-range jumper deadly, and his connection with John Stockton? Unstoppable. Together, they ran the pick and roll like it was poetry in motion, the kind of play defenses knew was coming but still couldn't stop. That's how Karl earned his nickname, the Mailman. Because just like the post office, he always delivered. Points, rebounds, consistency, night after night, season after season. But Malone's story wasn't just about power, it was about persistence. He faced heartbreak too. Twice, he and Stockton led the Jazz to the NBA Finals against Michael Jordan's Chicago Bulls. Twice, they came up short. And those moments haunted him, the mailman who delivered everything. Except the championship. Yet Malone never broke. He trained harder, lifted heavier, and played with that same blue-collar fire that came from a farm. By the time he retired, he had scored over 36,000 points, the second most in NBA history at the time, behind only Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He was more than a player, he was a force of nature. The kind of athlete who turned sweat into greatness, who made hard work look like destiny. Even without a ring, Karl Malone's legacy stands tall. Because legends aren't always measured by trophies, sometimes they're defined by their drive, their discipline, and the promise they never failed to deliver. And that's why, to this day, when you talk about consistency, dominance, and dedication, you remember the mailman, because no matter what, he always delivered.